Our third MC is Dr. Pam Palmater, and I would imagine many of you would not need me to introduce her much at all. But I will say, we're going to keep you very busy at this symposium. Tomorrow, we have a series of dialogues. I'm very grateful to CPAC. I want to thank Melanie and her team for being with us tonight. She's live streaming and also recording. And tomorrow there will be dialogues. Senators have chosen a civil society partner. And there are a total of 10 women senators. The dialogues will actually last for a hard stop of 30 minutes because they're being packaged for school use, and most of the audience will actually be high school students. Pam's going to be busy tonight and busy tomorrow. She'll be in dialogue with Senator Kim Pate. I'll just mention also that we have committees going on right now, so senators are coming and going, and I'm just so grateful for those who are making some time. Could I ask, I know we've lost some, but could I ask the senators in the room, if you're sitting, could you stand, and if you're standing, could you put your hand up? I just can't tell you how honored I am to work with these women. Now I'm going to ask Pam Palmater to say a few words.
Kwe Tansei Sego Ani Bourgeois. I am so pumped to be here. I'm in a room of like so many amazing people that I know. I just feel like so much energy. But that said, you can't say no when Marilou says, oh, I need you to do something. And my other favorite person, Kim Pate, over there. I mean, you have to do the things they ask you to do, because I wouldn't be here but for the work that they have done. But we are here to talk about something very serious, and it is that virus of inequality. And we call it inequality as though it is a dial on humanity that just needs a little bit of adjusting every once in a while. We still have arguments over formal equality, substantive equality. But this virus of inequality is far, far more dangerous than that. This inequality is a virus, one of the deadliest on the planet. We cannot even put a number to the millions of people who have died because of how embedded, ingrained, protected, defended, and promoted inequality is by the people who benefit most from it. This virus of inequality is so deeply embedded in everything that we are as a society, everything that we are as a state, in our government. When you think about it, it has infected all of our systems, even the democratic ones, even those countries that hold themselves out as the wealthiest, most inclusive, most welcoming states in the world have some of the most severe forms of inequality. They're different in different countries at different times under different leaders. But this virus of inequality is deeply embedded in our laws, our economic systems, our governing systems, and continues to be transmitted behind the scenes by those who hold the purse strings. Canada has long been celebrated, and rightfully so, as a model for other countries for our commitment to human rights, for our commitment to social justice, human dignity, equality. We should celebrate those principles because they weren't always at the forefront. It is because of people like you in this room, the feminist movement, the Indigenous rights movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, that have put those principles out there. See, most states won't do these things voluntarily. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but laws don't get changed voluntarily. It's because of all of the activists and advocates and people who march in the streets, who educate the public and who show up in all of these Senate committee hearings. I feel like I'm in a Senate committee hearing right now. Just think of the work and sacrifice and determination of the women's movement. How strong and powerful and inspiring they are. But if we only talk about that movement in that way, we will neglect the fact that it was dangerous, sometimes lethal, and that women had to be everything and 10 times more. Oh, you want equality, you want a job? Okay, you have to go ahead and do your job, but you also have to be a mother, and you also have to take care of your family, and you're also going to have to advocate for your community, because as mothers, we know our families are bigger than ourselves. That's not equality. That's perpetuating inequality, but women get it done anyway. Equal rights activists were once seen as unrealistic hippies who should be more practical. Then they kind of became the radical, subversive element that required hardcore monitoring and surveillance and tracking by all law enforcement agencies in the country. Now, of course, we're seen as the woke left. We're just eating ourselves, and if we have it our way, no one's going to get anything because we are saying that we should share with everyone. They don't even hear the conflict in the things that they say. Yeah, that's exactly what we've been saying. It should be equality for everybody. We should be sharing. We should care about community first. From an Indigenous background, well, if I even tried to act like an individual and, well, forget my family, forget my community, I would be put in my place, and rightly so, because we are about community. The super far right and those in power would say, oh, that's communism, that's socialism, these are all these things. People who haven't studied these things, by the way, who don't actually know what these things mean. But I stand here today having benefited from the work of all of these amazing women warriors, especially Indigenous women warriors like Jeanette Corbière-Laval, who we'll hear from in a minute, and Marilou, and Kim Pate, and Sheila Day from Fafia, and Sharon McIver. I mean, I wish I had 100 minutes to just go through all of them. But they put into motion, and all of the women before them, generations before I was born, all of the necessary elements so that I could be here today and talking to all of you, that I could have an education, that I can also be a mom, that I can push back. All of these opportunities came from all of these amazing women. And we now have charter rights, equality rights, constitutionally protected Indigenous rights, international human rights norms. These are important. But think about this international human rights norm system, and Alex, who's sitting in the crowd, will understand the issues here. So we talk about being a system of the rule of law, you know, basic human rights for human dignity, basic norms that we can all agree on as the member countries of the world. Wow, and is that ever starting to roll back? And my kids, like, they're in their 30s now, but they still, every once in a while, come to me with questions, not too often. They just ask ChatGPT. But they said, Mom, aren't you worried? Look at what's happening around the world. And I said, we're just in this ebb and flow. We have different challenges at different times, but so long as I see these warrior women's faces in the crowd, I'm good. Well, like, we got this. It doesn't matter how far forward or how far back we have to go and how far we push. It's the fact that so long as there are these warrior women on the planet, I'm good, we're good, we've got this. We just need everybody else to stand behind these women and support them and defend them. Because here we are, political parties in this democratic system of ours, trying to win votes from the most hateful segments of society. Wait, what? we're actually going to start talking about women's rights to decide what happens with their body? Like, didn't we decide that a long time ago? What, you're trying to say Indian residential school atrocities didn't happen? But see, that's about power and wealth, whatever gets me elected. And if you can trigger the social media algorithm from how hateful and vile and cruel and promoting of racism and sexism and violence, that'll make you a rich man, generally a rich young man. And so social media, which has opened up the world to all of us, to have influence and help educate people about what it means to have equality and how serious it is if we don't have it. We are now competing with the richest of the rich, the billionaires who are part of this group who don't want to give up with their power, are the ones that are controlling this algorithm. But we can do it because we're the ones in churches, in communities, in families, on the ground, in rooms like this. I don't see any of those haters here. So our influence is forever. The power could go out forever, and we're still here. This work deserves recognition and support because where inequality thrives, it becomes normalized. Where people think that inequality is inevitable, we should just be practical, settle somewhere in the middle. Nothing about inequality has ever been inevitable. This is about choice, and I am so thankful that the women in this room and everywhere else helped me understand I have the choice to make society different. Thank you so much.